Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. This is a bit of a requested video in the way that Barry, you emailed me and asked about infrared illuminators. You've got an infrared camcorder and you want to obviously enhance the picture of that and have extra infrared illumination, and you asked me what I used and if I had any advice on, you know, powering it for 6 to 8 hours, etc. And rather than reply with a massive email and all the different components and things I use, I just thought it's so much easier if I do a video. I'll put some of the links to some of the components in the description so you can check them out for yourselves. And hopefully this will be an in-depth look at infrared and how I use it and where I get it from, and the modifications I make. Also power is a big one, how I power them. So let's get into the video and have a look at what I've got on the table here. Right then guys, so this video, as I say, is you know, for the email I received about infrared and Barry's question about how I power infrared illuminators with batteries, make them 100% portable and yet 100% effective. Now, it's quite a long-winded answer, and that's why I'm doing this video rather than just replying to the email with a massive great essay of, you know, of what I use and the different products available, because there is so many products. And you can even buy dedicated rechargeable power packs now, which, you know, sort of run anywhere between £30 and £100. Whereas there are a lot cheaper ways and a lot easier ways to power infrared illuminators on a long investigation. Now, I tend to use several products depending on where I am and what products I'm using. I have a portable CCTV system which I'll set up if I'm doing a 2 or 3 day investigation, or, you know, a confined area where there might be multiple rooms and I have a camera in each room. And just to boost that illumination, I use a USB powered infrared floodlight. And I say USB powered, they don't come USB powered, I convert them myself, which I'll show you in a minute. But I also use battery packs, which again I'm going to show you now. But let's start by talking. I mean, there's several different types of camera. I mean, this was my very first sort of infrared / full spectrum camera, and this is a full spectrum converted action camera. It's a cheap camera, but it does the job quite well. But as my channel grew and as my investigations grew, I wanted to keep upgrading, and that's kind of when I started getting into the infrared illuminators, because obviously this on its own will not see in the dark. It needs infrared or UV light. And I kind of got to the stage where, you know, a single infrared illuminator on a selfie stick wasn't cutting it. So I again had to evolve what I was doing, and I ended up just going out and buying a load of these 4K Panasonic cameras, which just underneath the filter there's a plastic cover which contains a UV illuminator inside the camera. And again, I mean, this is a £450 camera. The built-in infrared is adequate, you know, especially for confined internal spaces. But if I'm out in the woods filming in pitch black, I often go to the built-in LED light, because, you know, I need light to see where I'm walking. It's not safe to walk around in complete darkness, so I tend to use that more. But obviously with the hot shoe on, I can put an infrared illuminator on this to help the built-in one and give me more, you know, light, or the visible light that the camera can see. And yeah, so I tend to use infrared when I want to boost, whether it be built-in or a full spectrum. I just want to boost the the illumination so it can see more without having to be right on top of the thing that I'm trying to see. So battery powered infrared illuminators are really important, and there is loads, and they're on the table here behind me. This is a bit of an impromptu video, so it's not really planned, so you have to bear with me a bit. But I want to talk about the different types first. I mean, you've got big floodlights like this, you've got smaller multi LED ones like this. You can buy just the panels, so if you want to build your own setup you can buy just the panels. You can get torches with either UV or infrared, they're brilliant. And you can also get, as I say, the 4 LED smaller ones. Okay, now I tend to always go for these ones or the floodlights. The floodlights I use when I'm in a fixed location and I've just got them set up to help illuminate a room. These ones I use when I'm on the go. So it does come down to what you want and what you want to use it for. And you know, these ones I tend to use because they can go on a mount, and I can angle them, and I can have my camera sat next to it on another mount, and it makes things so much easier. Now I tend to convert most of mine to USB. This one particularly because it plugs into a selfie stick, so that's why the cable's so short. But I mean, things like these big ones, which are static, I don't care how long the lead is, so I tend to power these ones with one of these. It's a battery pack, and I'll just take that off and I'll show you the pack. These are really cheap, they're about £3 each if you buy them in the UK. If you go and get them direct from China you can get them even cheaper than that. But all they are is a box that contains 8 batteries, AA batteries. These are only cheap batteries, Poundland ones, because I have so many battery packs. I mean, I've literally got stacks of them. I use them all the time for various products and things that I'm using. So I get through an awful lot of batteries, and it makes no sense buying, you know, 8 AA batteries from Duracell, which are going to cost me £5 or £6 a pack, when I can get 10 from a discount store for £1. You know, it just doesn't make sense to be spending more than I have to on something I'm just going to end up throwing away. But I haven't changed these in about, I don't know, 5-6 weeks, and I use them near enough maybe 3 times a week, maybe, for anywhere between 2 and 7 hours. So they're doing really well. These packs work absolutely brilliantly, and the only downside to them is obviously they're quite a big bulky item. I mean, there's my hand for comparison. It's not a small item, but you can still get away, you know, if I had that, maybe held it like that on my camera, you know, or if you've got it on a selfie stick or a tripod, you can hold it down on the handle. So I mean, they're not bulky in the sense of you couldn't use it mobily, because, you know, that's what these are designed for. You can get smaller ones, okay, and that's just one that takes a 9-volt battery instead, so a single 9-volt, but these last a little bit less than what the AA ones do. You can then even get even smaller and literally just buy the battery and then just make yourself up an adapter, or you can actually buy these for about £1 each, all ready to go. You just plug it onto the battery, plug it into your illuminator like so, and that's ready to go. Again, these will last anywhere between 3 and 4 hours rather than, you know, the longer time you get with the other ones. Or, as I say, you can convert to USB, and then you can run them off a power pack, and as you can see, that's lit up, ready to go, and this powers it fine. Don't know if you can see that, it's a bit reflective, but you can see the LEDs lighting up. And obviously the benefit of rewiring them to USB is you can make the lead as long or as short as you want for, you know, whatever application you want to put it to. So I say this one's short for a reason, because it plugs onto my selfie stick, and I've got them somewhere, they're there. So you can get USB powered selfie sticks, Again, not very expensive, and it just you can plug your illuminator straight into the side, and you've then got a self-contained selfie stick with your camera and illuminator all in one place. But obviously that's only good if you're doing a blog or you're talking to yourself, because a single illuminator, no matter how good they are, will not produce masses of light, which is why I tend to go towards the floodlights, which again you can convert to USB or you can run off the power packs. These ones are the ones I find are better, and they are really cheap, dirt cheap. Don't be fooled by these people selling them as specialist products or designed for the paranormal community. You'll often find them put their own sticker on it and brand it as their own, and then charge you £10 or £15 for one of these. Well, you can get them on eBay, Amazon, etc. for less than £3. So don't be fooled. And these are really good. And as I say, if you go to Poundland or somewhere like that, somewhere similar, you can buy 10 batteries, in this case 11 batteries, for £1. Okay, and it takes 8 in there, so you get a couple of these, you can power a couple of packs, and these will last, I say, an awful long time. I've had them running all night long and I've never had an issue. So that would be the one. And as I say, depending on it, I tend to use a rig for this, which I haven't got with me. It sits in the rig, and I've got my mic or my light above it, but if I wanted to, I could just tape that to the bottom of the rig, and that will quite happily power an infrared illuminator for this particular camcorder. You know, if you're in a static location, you're just setting up a camera to capture activity while you're not in the room, go for a floodlight, because you'll get 100 times better light from it. Not quite 100 times, but you know what I mean. The light will be better, and it's a fixed location, you don't have to worry about carrying it around. I will do my best to find the links for these, because I think anyone can find an illuminator, that's not a problem. They're all over the marketplace, generally really cheap. I pay about £3 each for these because I get them from China. I pay about £2 each for these because I get them from China. Again, I wait 3 or 4 weeks for them to arrive, but obviously I'm saving myself a few pounds by buying them from China. Again, the same with these, very cheap, and yet they will run an infrared illuminator without a problem. The benefit of buying your own boards is you can wire hundreds of these together and power them different ways. You can create your own light setups and things if you buy them like that, but then you just need to know about wiring them together, powering them, that sort of thing. But they're super cheap if you buy them like this. As I say, when it comes to converting them to a USB, I just buy USB leads, which in theory you could use anyway. You just plug your infrared illuminator into it and plug it into a power pack, but then you've got a 4 or 5 foot lead. If you wanted to, you could just buy that, cut the head off, and your infrared illuminator is just unscrew. There's a couple of screws either side. Unscrew that, pull out the guts, and just rewire it. It's just a little bit of soldering. Rewire the USB rather than the female head. So it's simple as that. I have about 50% converted, 50% not, just because these disposable ones, well, the disposable battery ones, are just easier to use. I don't have to convert anything, just fill it with batteries, plug it in, and away I go. But they're really good. I'm not even sure if you guys are picking it up or not, but so if I cover the magic eye, you'll see that's lighting up fine, being powered by 8 AA batteries. Turn it on again. See? And that's all that is. Alright, the cable's tied up here, but yeah, that's all it is. Battery pack, one of them, and as I say, that'll last all night long, no problem at all with AA batteries. and you can fit it on a tripod. And you can put it on a hot shoe and mount it above your camcorder. Makes it a bit bigger, but it's still quite portable. And then, as I say, if you have that mounted above the camera, you know, you could tape this somewhere or cable tie it somewhere out the way, and you've got your setup. I would have done that, but again, this was quite an impromptu video, a quick one just to sort of explain what I use. But the short response is just get yourself one of these packs and an illuminator, and away you go. That will last all night long, no problem at all. And even with the cheap alkaline batteries in. If you've got even better batteries, you get more life out of it, but I've never had a problem using the cheaper batteries. Let's face it, I mean, the draw of a infrared illuminator is not going to be massive, so batteries are fine. So I hope that's answered your question. I hope it's given you some ideas. There is so many options, I could spend all night talking about them, but for me that's the easiest way. A battery power pack, no modifications whatsoever, just plug it into your illuminator and away you go. And they're cheap enough. I'm going to put a link to the battery packs because I think that's probably the thing that people are wanting to know about the most. I'll put a link down below. Just click on that, it will take you to Amazon, or I think eBay's another good one, and you'll be able to pick one up there. And as I say, it will last you the 6 to 8 hours that you're asking for, no problem at all. And it just depends on the illuminator you want then, to how much you want sort of the light output. So that I can't help you with. It does depend on your budget, you know, how big you want to go, how small you want to go. But generally one of these multi-LED ones is adequate just to help boost the camcorder. So yeah, hope you find this useful. Thumbs up if you did. If you want to know anything else, you want to know where to get anything from, just drop me another email and I will quite happily tell you. And make sure you've hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in my next video.